Hello, my name is Biljana Vozarević and today I'm going to talk to you about giving gifts. This talk is inspired by Mohanji's message, his recent message about giving gifts and invitation to help our neighbors. So this talk can be also called Let's Help Our Neighbors. The message was going about gratitude to all those people who are sending him gifts, various kinds of presents, whether from nearby regions, some locations, or even from faraway countries, which takes a lot of time and effort, energy and money. And he invites us to be practical and to actually send him only essentials, and if necessary. He is inviting everyone to use this money, if some has excess money, to use this money for better cause, to be practical and feed all those people who are unemployed now in the world. There are millions and millions of people out there who lost their jobs because of coronavirus situation and who are not let's say settled, who are marginalized, because there are people who ask for that and get help, and on the other hand there are those people who do not have help at all, who wouldn't even ask. And as tomorrow is my birthday, I also wanted to use this occasion to invite everyone who would like to give a present to me to actually give this as a gift and to give a donation to ACT Foundation. I'm here in India, and then ACT Foundation across the world in other countries. That's what I also want to use this occasion for. And here I'm going to read to you some parts of this message. The first part, which could be a real letter of gratitude, heart-touching, because Mohanji is always touched by love sent to him. He feels that, and not only feels, when somebody expresses love, he's always really happy about that. I'm saying this with full gratitude and appreciation of your love and kindness towards me or any of our family members who live with me. I fully appreciate, I fully understand your feeling, and I'm filled with gratitude because you're finding time and spending money and energy to send the gift items which you love to give to me and the people here in the house. Be practical. The other part could be called be practical. But we have to be practical in this context. If you have some money with you to spare, make sure that a few beings around you who are hungry is given food and satisfy them. This is really a gift you're giving me. Yes, I feed the birds daily and it enriches me inside a lot. I feel how it satiates hunger, or at least part of hunger of all these pigeons. There are about 50 to 100 coming to my house. I'm really blessed they come to me, that I don't need to go far away looking for someone, to help. So this really makes my day early in the morning. I would like you to use your extra money, excess money, for feeding the poor, the old, the sick, the birds, the animals, beings of the water, beings of the sky, beings of the earth. This is what I would like you to do, or like I do myself. And if you send materials from far away, from different countries, there is cost of transportation there. There is cost related to government, like customs, fees and stuff. Eventually, that item becomes much more expensive than what we buy from the shop. Again, I'm telling you, I am deeply grateful that you thought about me or the people in the family. And you really spent that money, time and energy to procure it and send it. But when we consider the total cost and the total damage to our wallets, is it worth it? Many of the materials are usable probably a few times, a few weeks, maximum few months, and it's discarded. But medicines and essential items, that's a different thing, because that's needed for our existence. All the essentials are welcome because they help sustenance. That's different criterion. I'm talking about general gifts that we don't really need. We need about a few dress materials, materials which we need for dealing with the world outside. That's about it. We don't need a lot of it. Again, I appreciate your love and your kindness. I fully feel it. It's not the same way we look and go into a shop and say, I like the dress, and you go and buy it. This is something different. Because a desire happened, fulfill the desire. That's okay. So if a desire in you happened, then fulfill that desire. That's okay. It's not good to suppress it so that it becomes just a procrastination when it's going to be fulfilled, because it's pending. Energy, formed and requires fulfillment. So if a desire comes, fulfill it. But it's not the same when you buy and send from a long distance to courier. Courier charges to customs, or the government charges, value-added tax. All those put together is really adding to the price, and it becomes expensive. And probably it's not so essential. So I would like us to be considering all these things before we decide to buy something and send something for us. Rather, I would like you to spend that money in helping the helpless. Help our neighbors. In today's situation, so many people have lost their jobs and there is zero income. Yes, like 5,000 people lost jobs in Dubai. I found some other statistics which I can add here about more than 40 million in the USA, and this is the detail from May. So now 3 months later it can be even more than 40 million people in the United States, so America. 20,000 people in Serbia. Although in Serbia there is a strategy, or at least there was a strategy and order from the government not to not to fire people, to keep them employed and overcome this crisis as as much as you can and in whichever way you can. So this is a kind of a social attitude towards that, some human attitude. I guess this comes from socialism, which has been here for a long time, to look after everyone so that everybody's needs are covered. Then 5,000, so as I said, there are 22,000 in Serbia still, and unfortunately there are going to be more. I live in Serbia, so that's why I stick to that more. I know more information about it. 5,000 people in the United Arab Emirates. There are 27 million people of young adults from 20 to 30 years old in India who are unemployed. Imagine that number, and how many of people are there older than 30-year-olds, and then they are also unemployed. And not only do they need the daily needs and covering basic needs for sustenance, they also need to pay loans, scholarships, etc. Maybe if they bought houses, they need to pay loans for the houses. So because there is no income, many people are in crisis. So many companies have sacked people, they removed people. That means so many jobless people. And many of these people don't tell the world because they are not very poor in their normal life. But a situation like COVID-19 has happened and they become jobless. I know certain cases where the people ask the grocer, can you give a one-time meal or the materials to cook a meal for the day or the family. So imagine that desire to have a meal to survive just one day. So these are people who became humiliated by the situation. They had regular life, they could sustain themselves regularly through their own work, and now they fell on their knees due to this life circumstance. So they were buying, usually paying and buying before But in this particular situation, they don't have that food. So we have to be really considerate. We have to keep our eyes open. We have to ensure that our neighborhood people are fine. So many shops are closed and so much of business is suffering. One of my friends, says Mohanji, was telling me he's doing good business and about 100 good people are employed and work for him. He was telling me that his net loss per month is about 4 million rupees. This is the state. This is a reality. Many people are losing money because the economy is tilted. So we must really understand that every meal would be precious in the world today. So if we have a meal to eat today, it's a sheer grace. You deserved it. You lived for the world and the world lives for you. So the world provides, food comes to your table. But we must always think about people who do not have food to eat. If you buy some extra grocery and simply actually supply to a neighbor who have lost their job, they would greatly appreciate. I would rather you would spend money for that than sending gifts to me. It would be more useful, more practical. We got to be very, very practical today. I don't like to see children starving in the neighborhood because the parents lost their job. We can do something about it, and let's do it. We are focusing on those people who do not want to come out in the open and say, look here, I need help, I'm starving. Their ego will not allow it. Therefore, let's announce public events, say those who lost their job can come, so feel free to come. Don't hesitate to come. We can deliver food at the door, like grocery bags or something, some ration bags with the essentials as well. So if you need to choose whether to have, an empty stomach and hurt ego, better to have full stomach and hurt ego, right? A true story. I heard, says Mohanji, I heard one person was standing outside the grocery shop and one woman understood that this man doesn't have money. He was reluctant to go in and ask. He had lost his job and he has got family at home. So this lady said, "Can I share something with you?" He said, No, I'm okay. And she said, "No, I think you need help." She felt it. And he admitted, "I'm standing outside because I may see some of my friends and maybe borrow some money from them. Maybe I will meet someone whom I can talk to." And she was a stranger, but he told her, he opened himself to her. She said, "Don't worry, come with me." He said, basically, "I want food for my baby." It was a child, 2 years old or something like that, and he wanted to actually buy the food for the baby. Because even if he can tolerate hunger for some time, the baby can't, right? And she bought the food for him. She bought that food for him and the child. Then he said, "You know what? I would like you to take money. When I get the job, I will give you back. I want to pay you." She said, "Don't worry. If you get a job, you get the money and then you can help somebody else who is in need. It will fill my heart more and I will be more satisfied than that you give that money back to me. So would you do it?" So please make it a change that you help somebody else in a similar situation. See, these are the things that are really touching. I would like to see these acts of kindness because there are poor people and they probably have enough ego not to ask anybody that they need food or even bread, especially with children. And I know some cases where they went to the grocery, right? "Can you give me some food?" So there are people working, they were buying, as I said earlier. If they have resources, you don't need to give, but then have clarity. If they have to, resources to cover their needs, you don't need to give it to them. If somebody whom we know is very well, they don't need it. But if they lost their job and they don't know how to, make ends meet, that would be a great service to help them. I know we can, and I know too. The next thing would be, if you really want to give gifts, let's say to Mohanji, then if you have excess money and if you really want to give it to Mohanji community, either Mohanji or the family or anybody in the community, you can deposit in the bank in your country in the foundation account. And if you open the site mohanji.org/donate, you will see where you can fill in the details, what your intention is and how you want to contribute, and how much you want to donate, right? Because Mohanji Foundation gives most free, almost everything is free. Just retreats are paid, right? And my 3 sessions are donation based as well. Half of it also goes to feeding the hungry. So, or if you can give money over the ashram funds, because we are building centers of peace, or ashrams, these centers where people can find solace. So Mohanji says, for example, we need at the moment money for this ashram in Slovenia, this center of peace that we are building at the moment. We intend to build in Slovenia now. We are making the plans for it. That's more practical than sending gifts to me. Again, I'm telling you, I'm really, really grateful. And I really appreciate that you're loving me so much. And I'm indebted to you for your love. But let us use this money for more practical purposes. If the Center of Peace or ashram is built, it will support and it will be a source of solace for many more people in the years to come. This is more practical. This is more required. So let us work towards something good, something positive, and something more practical and more important at this point in time. So let's be one world and one family. Let's do something for our neighbors. Let's do something for each other. For example, in that center where Mohanji is going to spend a lot of time during a year in Slovenia, let's help build it so that everybody has solace when they come there. I will leave you with this thought, says Mohanji, and please understand that we are all one. We are one family. We have no separation. When your heart wells with love for me, I receive it. When you love me, I feel it. I receive it. And this love is what is uniting us. This love unites us. This love maintains us. This is our nourishment. And if you can maintain this love, we will have no sorrows. We are all here together at this point in time and the times to come. We are together and we would like to help each other. Let's hold hands and stay together. We do not believe in any man-made barriers. We do not believe in, divisions created by mind, like country, color, creed, caste, nothing like that. No religion, nor language barriers. We are all one. Yes, let's call it humanity, humankind. So your overwhelming love that you express in your society will tell the society what is the flavor of Mohanji family. I would like to invite you all again. Tomorrow is also my birthday, so if you are willing to give me some gifts on a friendly basis, I invite you to give donation for feeding the hungry here in this situation. We have Act for Hunger, which is associating with various organizations, and at the moment ACT Foundation and Ammo Care are both active with it, Mohanji Foundation as well, and I invite you to do something. So let's create these initiatives now when it is really needed most. Let's show our compassion, let's show that we are really human. Let's be practical. Lots of love.